Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I'm here for all of the world's yam facts.
I'm Sean Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Okay, Rem, I'm gonna be real with you. Last week was a bit weird.
Yup.
Have you
Yup.
recovered it all since then?
It took a lot out of me.
Yeah? Genuinely understandable. So this week I figured we'd do something a bit more normal, something a bit more low-key, something that makes way more sense than what we watched last week.
That, unfortunately, I wish that comforted me more.
Why does that not comfort you, Rem?
Well, because if you were like, oh, hey, if you were to describe to me like the normal anime, right? Describe to me the average anime, right? If you were to tell a weeb that, or you went to a convention and asked that, the answers would overwhelmingly be stuff that I am not interested in.
I don't know if that's entirely true, Rem, because there might be
I feel like it's entirely true.
There might be some, like, good exceptions there, you know? And maybe
There might be good exceptions, but if you're to describe the average anime, it would be a vaguely horny shonen bullshit isekai with light harem elements. That would be in the Lord's year 2022 the average anime.
Well, what if I was saying normal for your perspective, Rem?
That's also still, like, I share the same degenerate view of anime, I just have a different perspective. I give it a thumbs down, that's it. I come to the same conclusion, I just rate it differently.
Okay, then what if I was to say I chose an anime that would be, like, not mind-breakingly horrible for you? Like, something that you might have an opinion on, but it's not gonna be like, man, this is just the same shit. Or it's like, hey, this is something that I kind of understand.
Sure, alright. And what would that be this week, Sean?
Well, Rem, it's been a minute, so I figured we should talk about sports a little bit.
Fucking hell. Okay.
I mean, sports kind of, you know, it's sports adjacent.
Alright, what sport?
Man,
Let's start there.
It's hard to explain, Rem. What
do you mean it's hard to explain?
Like, I think I'd be much better off just giving you a brief look into the plot, then I'll describe the sport, because I feel like once you have an idea of what the characters we are working with, then you might have a better idea of what we're getting into.
Oh, I see right through him. Alright, keep going.
You see right through me?
Yeah, just go for it. Start the synopsis, you son of a bitch.
Well, it all starts with our main character, Judai Yuki.
Cap?
And Judai, or Yuki, whichever you prefer, is an up-and-coming athlete, as it were.
You know.
And he is currently trying his best to get into this top school that all they do really is teach him and people like him how to be experts at this sport. You know, like a proper athlete school. And simply put...
Now, wait a minute, Sean.
Hey, what's up, Rem?
I think you are trying to boozle me, Sean.
Am I?
In a subtle way this time.
Interesting.
You are trying to boozle me linguistically.
How so?
But I've seen through it. It took me a moment. It took me a moment of processing. But you thought, aha, if I give the Japanese name, he isn't gonna notice. The fool, the rube. But it took a little bit of processing. But you can't fool me. You can't fool me. I loved this shit when I was 10 years old.
So then, Rem, what are we watching this week if you're so keen?
We watching some goddamn Yugioh GX?
Confetti cannon, hooray! Rem, you figured it out! Yes, Rem, we are watching some Yugioh GX.
Oh, man.
Because, Rem, nothing is more normal than a anime about a school that's all about teaching kids how to play a card game really well.
So let me say right now.
Yes.
When I was young, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Duel Academy, it was like Oh man, it was aspirational for me, right? Because I loved Yu-Gi-Oh! And as a kid, just any type of like, hey, it's a school, but this kind of school. Like, those were the best settings when you're 11, right? It's like, oh my god, I wish that was my school.
Yeah.
And I loved, there were two different Yu-Gi-Oh! GX games. Because let me tell you, I played, like, as a kid, if there was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, you're damn right I was playing that Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, all right? And some of my favorites were two games that were based on Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. One was Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I think it was just, let me search. I think it was just called Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy, and that one was super dope because you'd actually like take exams, and there would be in the exams it'd be like, oh, do you know the monsters and whatnot? But also, here's a puzzle. Do you have the knowledge to solve this dueling puzzle? And then a practical exam where you try and accomplish a certain goal. And it was super dope, and it would rank you, and there was like story and random events. Fucking loved that shit. Another one was like, it was basically a dating sim, but not dating. It was like a dual partner sim, right?
They call that a visual novel, Rem.
But there was dueling.
Yeah.
There was dueling, but you duel with your partner. So you find a partner, and it's like, if you're playing the original one, you always got to go with Zane because he's OP as fuck, right? So you immediately get with the top guy of the entire school, and you just wreck all these motherfuckers with your beginner-ass deck. It was great. It was phenomenal.
Okay, so you're saying that you have very fond memories of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
That being said, I recognize most of my fond memories, once again, from the video games.
Yes. Well, then what can you tell me about the plot line of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX?
Oh, God. Oddly, I'm remembering this mostly, once again, from the video games, but here we fucking go.
Okay.
You got Jaden Yuki, where we
Or
will use
Judai.
his American God-given name.
Okay, listen here.
His Patriot's name.
Rev,
we
we
call
are
it here.
not in a good position to be talking about God-given American anything. Like, America is fucked right now, Rem. Like, more so than
Little bit.
usual.
But Jaden Yuki, he starts attending this school, and he's a little bit of a slacker, but also he's a slacker prodigy, right? And he gets in Slifer Red, the lowest of all the tiers, and he hangs out with Cyrus Truesdale, who's the little brother of Zane Truesdale, the top dog, and Cyrus is just this sort of like nerdy, very incompetent, but he grows in later seasons. And then there's also goddamn Chumley, and Chumley, he's a big koala man, who I think he likes hot sauce and food, and he's always hungry, and they forget about him because they know he's the least interesting character of the beginning characters. I forget how, but they get rid of him later.
They just axe him immediately.
Yeah, you have the Sasuke of the series, Chaz Princeton, who's pretty good but super full of himself, and he's focused on like a really cool deck, but later on he needs self-reflection with these like weird fucking Ojama monstrosities. You have Bastion Masawa, who is a super nerd, hyper calculated, he starts out with a chemistry deck, but he changes it up quite a bit. You have the very androgynous like principal who's in charge of stuff, Dr. Crowler, who is a thorn in everyone's side and no one likes. That's the gist of it for at least the beginning bit. It gets a little crazy later, but
Oh yeah, no, by like episode 150 or so, it gets buck wild.
yeah, so I would always watch this show, but I didn't, as with most anime when I was young, that I happened to like catch glimpses of, like a Dragon Ball Z, right? Things
Right.
that I would casually sort of watch. I was never able to keep up with any of them. But I would just watch them. I would watch it whenever it came on.
Yeah.
Because I was so into Yu-Gi-Oh! As a child, it was insane.
I mean, it did air from 2004 to 2008, Rem. And
I mean, as can be given by my like near encyclopedic memory to this day.
yes. And that was going to be the big gamble of this episode, Rem, because by and large, people in our particular age bracket, they either watched the shit out of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX or have never fucking seen it. That there's no
The-
in between.
If anything, I might be so bold, Sean,
Yeah.
and to say that in my, like, tween memory, right, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's weird that you mentioned that, Rem, because there is a large, like, online community who really loved GX.
Yeah, well, because you started out with normal Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Which, it had interesting ideas, but also, with all due respect, it wasn't Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, it's not until after the Pegasus Island stuff is when it actually started resembling the card game even a little bit.
Yes, and even then, sometimes it pushed it.
Yeah.
Then we get, like, I think GX is the next one, right?
Correct. It's the exact sequel series.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
And you get
GX
this,
Generation X. Waha.
yeah, you get Duel Academy, which, like, hot damn. After that, I think motorcycles came next.
Yep, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Card games on motorcycles. How can we make this more exciting? Let's have a whole city themed around card games and put them on motorcycles. That's...
Which, I don't know. I was like, am I gonna vibe with this? I never did. I just couldn't get into it. I don't give a shit about...
You don't like card games on motorcycles, Rem?
And then, oh god, there's like 3 more.
Oh yeah,
there's
a shit ton, dude.
There, one of them, a newer one, I recently learned, it's like LARPing gymnastics or some shit. Like, it's parkour. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Parkour is what it is. Which I don't understand.
Look, man, I don't think I could explain it to you.
The point is, the best one is like,
myself.
Hey, what if it's a goddamn school? And every kid is like, that's fucking dope.
Yeah, it's Harry Potter, but for card games.
It's just a winning formula to be like, hey, this unique thing, let's have a school of it. And it's like, yeah, like, magic school, cool. Dueling school, cool. Superpower school, cool. It's just like, kids fucking love that shit.
Yeah, and then you jump the shark with motorcycles.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say it, kids. And I felt this way as a kid, and I feel like, oddly, many kids will feel the same way. Motorcycles, less cool than school, baby.
Fucking nerd.
I mean, I was the one who was like, oh man, the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX video game, it had exams. So, like, yeah, I mean, a little bit.
Yeah, the other 2 Yu-Gi-Ohs that you don't know the name of. The one after 5Ds was Zexal.
What was their gimmick?
Their gimmick was augmented reality.
But I thought that was the gimmick of season 1, and all of them, sort of.
Well, yeah. And I think that might have been the parkour one, and then the most recent one is Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V.
What the fuck is Arc V?
It's the most recent Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, but okay, what's its deal? What? How does it try to fuck with the formula?
I just pulled up the official site, and in the all-new action duels, monsters literally come to life with advancements in holographic technology.
No, that's what all of them are! Shut the fuck up! That's been Yu-Gi-Oh! Literally since its inception, dog.
No,
but
like, it's hey, Rem, it's different because they don't stand by and let their monsters battle for them. Now they ride their monsters as they race through real locations to take down their opponents.
They came up with interesting ideas that stopped after GX. Some might say, hey, Remington, is that just you being like, this was the last thing? Like a lot of people do with Pokemon, where they're like, yeah, I stopped playing at whatever generation, and therefore all following generations are the worst ones. Is that what I'm doing? And the answer is obviously no, because I'm right.
Sure you are, bud. Sure you are. Look, I'm sure we'll get all the angry emails from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V fanboys out there. If there are any. But I will also say, Zexal has the stupidest fucking haircut, like, for its main character.
But that's sort of like,
but
on brand.
like Rem, you don't understand. Like,
no, I mean, I've seen it. Like,
it's like, I think it's easily the stupidest of all the main characters.
I probably agree, but like, meh.
Like, it blows my mind how it exists, because it looks like a normal hairstyle, and then they, like, slapped 3D printed objects onto it. Like, it looks like Detective Conan's hair with, like, 3D spikes. That's what it looks like.
Oh, man.
But, you know, and they have scouters.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. So you can measure the power level of your Yu-Gi-Oh monsters, even though it says it on the card. Um, but yeah, no, Rem, Yu-Gi-Oh GX. I figured this would be a nice break from the weird because there's nothing more normal than an entire like school run on card games funded by Seto Kaiba.
I mean, we make it sound weird, but like compared to the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, like, oh man, this will be wildly normal in comparison.
And, well, let's get stuck in and see if it remains as good as we thought it was when we were kids. Without further ado, Rem, let's go watch some Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
If a horse were to do an Ahegao, that's what it would look like.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after watching 6 whole episodes of the hit 2004 anime, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And Remington, was it as good as you remembered it as a child, as a wee lad?
Well, there's one major thing I didn't remember.
What's that, Rem?
I suppose it's fair that I didn't remember because I never saw it because I watched subs this time, right?
Right.
And oh my god, Crowler's so Italian. He's so overwhelmingly Italian.
So much so that he ends almost every sentence with a variety of cheese.
Yeah, and he's just like, buongiorno, mamma mia, and it's like, what the fuck? Because, like, in the American version, like, maybe he has a vague fascination with, like, Italy or whatever, but he's like, I think he's a little British.
Yeah.
He's definitely not Italian, let alone this Italian. Like, it's not that the American version was like, oh, he'll be Italian, but tone it down. No, like, on one version, you have someone who's like, I went to Italy and it's neat. On the other version, you are like, all right, let's capture Italy as we just get Chef Boyardee themselves, you know, let's just go all in. It is the most stereotypical Italian nonsense I ever goddamn saw. It's wild.
It
It's
is an experience, to say the least.
So yeah, that threw me for a loop. I should also note that while I watched the subs this go round, I will still be labeling them with their God-given American names.
Of course you will.
That's how I know them, and it's how it's been reinforced for years. I'm going with the American translation. For
So
the
you're telling me that Manjo Mei Jun is still going to be Chaz?
Yeah, of course he's gonna be Chaz. He's gonna be Chaz Princeton. That's gonna be his goddamn name.
Which, by the way, can we talk about that particular choice for an Americanization? They're like, June. How can we fix this? Chaz.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna say it. The American names, they're real solid. They're good American names. Like, they're interesting. They're not just like John or whatever, right? Like, they got creative with it. They got fun with it, and it's just the American names are better.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't think you can say that.
Objectively.
I don't
Because
think you can
America.
say that.
So let's start actually talking about it. And let's actually start by talking about the opening, which the opening song, oh man, I wasn't ready for that.
No.
It starts out heavy ska that transitions into more of a rock ballad that then has a rap section.
Yes.
Which I sort of vibe with it, but it's very weird. And then the end song is generic as fuck. It doesn't matter. But yeah, the intro song, man, that's a lot. That, boy, oh boy, it doesn't sound like Yu-Gi-Oh, but it feels like Yu-Gi-Oh, just in how eclectic it is.
It just goes to show how dramatically different the localization team of 4Kids Entertainment changed things.
Yeah, truly. So we start out with Jaden. He's running late to get to the opening like exams and whatnot at the Duel Academy, where he runs in to Yugi, and it's like a nice moment. Like, they don't show Yugi's face, but they show his hair, and that's all you need to see.
That's all you need to know.
And it does feel like, oh, you like running into someone very important. It's a nice moment overall. And then Yugi is like, here, have this goddamn Kuribo.
Best card in the game.
Yes, and then the Kuribo talks. So, you know, it's a spiritual Kuribo. because why not? We get to the duels, we get introduced to a few characters. We see Bastion, who's the super nerd, but like the super cool nerd. He wins a duel with flying colors. He fucking nails it. Meanwhile, we have Cyrus, who did all right, and then Jaden, he gets in just in time, but Crowler, right? Crowler, who's sort of the supervisor here, is like, no way, no siree, no how. Fuck him. I hate him already.
Yep.
Because Crowler just sort of hates them all.
Yep.
And his hatred, Crowler's hatred for especially Jaden, it is more extreme than I recall. Because I recall it being sort of like a nemesis situation, right?
Right.
And they're definitely being hatred, definitely being the antagonist. But I mean, Crowler does hire a hitman. So, you know.
I mean, is it really a hitman if it's...
It is a hitman. It is an honest to God hitman. But continuing on. So Crowler is like, I'm gonna face Jaden myself if he wants a duel, goddammit. And then they have a duel. And Crowler has like super OP first turn combo, all the cards he would have wanted to summon his special card, the Ancient Gear Golem. But then Jaden is like, joke's on you, motherfucker. I have the perfect cards as well. And he does his favorite card, which is Flame Wingman, and he wins with that. And there we go. And that's generally, and that's how I'm going to talk about the duels, by the way. I'm going to very much skim over them.
You're not going to go into the in-depth game mechanic details of how they work?
Look, I would probably enjoy doing that. I don't think it'd make for a good podcast. Like I think I could do some good like play-by-play if a duel was happening in front of me, especially if it was Yu-Gi-Oh style monsters coming out. Oh man, I'd love to do play-by-play.
I mean, it's just bringing up your I don't know if general podcast audience has heard this or not, but your general idea of having a WWE style event but with Yu-Gi-Oh battles.
Yes, I think that was pre-banter, but
right.
to our non-patrons, my general idea, and I maintain this would be fucking rad as hell, is you take Yu-Gi-Oh competitions, right? But let's face it, actual Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, unless you're super into Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't give a shit. No one gives a shit, and it's all a bunch of like OTKs and broken combos, and it's just not interesting. So instead, you turn it into more pro wrestling, where it's scripted with every deck is a gimmick, a lot more similar to the shows, and you could have an entire league, and it'd be interesting as hell. Like, that'd be dope as fuck, and I stand by that.
Maybe one day we'll do something with that idea.
Yeah, once we get a few billion.
You're thinking on a much grander scale than I was thinking, Rem. Like, there's a VR chat mod that is literally just, hey, you can play Yu-Gi-Oh and see the monsters. It's very cool.
Fair enough. We could work something out then.
Yeah.
We'll see. But so Jaden wins and defeated Crowler, even though Crowler had never lost after playing the Ancient Gear Golem, which is a shitty trope. Which, you know, yep, it's Yu-Gi-Oh. Yep. let me be upfront, put all my cards on the table. Yu-Gi-Oh GX, I don't think this is going to astonish anybody. Not a great show. It is not of high quality. It's a lot of shonen bullshit, but I enjoy this show. And I think even though it's not a great show, it has a couple redeeming qualities, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, interesting Yu-Gi-Oh nonsense, right? You will get your fill of interesting card playing combos. You'll see the cards have interesting animations to itself. In fact, they're basically the only things with interesting animations. Everything else is real jank. At one point, they have some confetti on the screen, and it's straight up just an overlay on top of everything else.
Yes.
So like this scenes and the perspective is switching, like different camera view, right? But the confetti is still just the same confetti falling down. It's jank as hell. But if you're interested, you're not here for the animation. You're not here for like deep, nuanced characters. You're here for colorful characters, which they are. generally enjoyable and weird plot lines, which they have, and some fun, silly card play, which is here. So I don't think this is a good show, but like, let's face it, if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, you're gonna have a fun time with this show. You know what you're getting yourself into. It's sort of like the Pokemon movies that I've talked about before, where like usually they're not great, but you're there to see the Pokemon, and so it does what you want it to accomplish, right? You're there to see Pokemon interacting in interesting ways, and you achieve that, so it's a satisfying experience regardless of quality. Same thing, but with Yu-Gi-Oh! That being said, I did notice an early plot hole that, totally ruined the immersion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In the first episode, I think maybe the first couple in the background, there's girls dressed in raw yellow uniforms, but as anybody familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! GX will know, there are no girls in any dorm except Obelisk Blue, at least until Blair shows up later, pretending that she's a boy, but then she gets found out as a girl and decides to stay in the red dorm. So I'm just saying,
completely broken. The lore is awful. Nothing can go wrong.
Which also we like Yu-Gi-Oh! Not free from casual sexism, pretty rampant.
Well, I mean, my God, dude, it was back early on, and that doesn't excuse it, but like,
if anything, it's just authentic to Yu-Gi-Oh! Culture.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're going to have the card gamers after us now, Rem.
Oh, no. They're not going to leave the house.
Oh.
I say it with love. Mostly. I say it with love on the you never leave I say it with love that you never go outside. I don't say it with love that like there's rampant misogyny in the community. That is a problem. That you all need to figure out.
Yeah. Girls can play card games too, y'all. Stop
it. Yes. So we go to episode 2. We get some exposition on the academy and the different dorms. Cyrus and Jaden are the stupidest motherfuckers around because they're both in Slifer Red, but they didn't realize they were in Slifer Red despite already being given their red outfits. And they're like, man, hope we're in the same dorm. And then like Bastion, the nerd, shows up and he's like, are you dumb motherfucker? You have the uniform. What the fuck? But yeah, they are just that stupid. We continue on. We meet Chumley, who is a koala-shaped asshole. Like, I do not remember the early episodes where he is just an absolute cunt. He's like he's like an edgy fuck too, which just does not fit.
He's so edgy considering how round he is.
Yeah, like later he turns into the jolly dumb fuck you'd expect, but right now he's like, here in Slifer Red, it's just a matter of time until we're kicked out. There's no point in even trying. We're all failures. It's a dog-eat-dog world. If we have any chance of succeeding, it's at the other's cost. It's like, Chumley, you doing okay, bud? Is there a counselor that can provide some therapy for Chumley over here? Because he's about to go postal.
There are no counselors in the card game school. If you're not good at card games, then why are you here?
They teach an alchemy class.
Oh yeah, because I mean it has to do with card games.
Let me be clear. It doesn't. Let me be clear. This is not like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Alchemy. It's just alchemy. It is like Renaissance era alchemy classes with Professor Banner. Why? I have no idea, dude. Like gym class, I accept that. Makes sense. You still gotta have gym class. All the other classes, card related. Dope. I understand. Whatever. And then alchemy. What?
Well, how else are you gonna fuse your monsters without alchemy, Remington? Come on.
That's not how any of that works. That's not what? I am confused. I don't understand, but it's there. But Professor Banner does have a cute cat named Pharaoh, so we'll let it slide. Anyway, episode 2, we continue on where Jaden and Cyrus, Cyrus is looking for a dom.
Yes.
he meets Jaden and immediately he's like, oh my god, can we be friends? Can I follow you to the ends of the earth? Can you be my pharaoh? And it's like, whoa, buddy, you take a guy out for milkshakes first. You can't open with that. And then he's just like, oh, okay, and said, well, I'll make it less weird. You'll just be my big brother? How about that? Which, he does also have a big brother in the actual school that will be, like, revealed in a crazy intense way later. But real weird, Cyrus.
Yeah.
Real fucking weird.
Like, there's a bit of a cultural disconnect there, like, in the phrase, the difference between an Aniki and an Onisan. Like, Aniki is like, man, I look up to you like a brother type of thing.
But other characters get confused and think he's calling him his actual brother.
And that is a thing that can happen, because it is essentially just calling another person brother as well. Like, it's just, there's like a weird like disconnect. Like, there's room for doubt with Aniki, whereas with Onisan there's much less room for doubt. Like, Japanese is a strange language.
Long story short, Cyrus is looking for a Dom Daddy and wants Jaden to be that. We start our first ship. Continuing on, we meet some more characters before eventually Jaden and Cyrus, they confront Chaz and his cronies. They have a chat, and later on Chaz challenges Jaden to a duel at midnight in the arena. So they meet up there and they start their duel, and it's nice and intense, good back and forth. Both ways. Things are looking dire for Jaden, but then the guards show up and they're like, you kids aren't supposed to be. They're not old guards. They don't even speak, but that's like, I don't know. That felt right to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's security guards at a school where kids learn to play card games. Like, I mean, come on.
What are you going to expect?
Yeah.
But the guards show up and the kids all run away. So the duel's unfinished, and they're like, oh man, you were right about to lose. And he's like, Jaden's like, no, I wasn't, because I was about to use Monster Reborn and kick this motherfucker's ass. Which sure, all right. I think they should have just kept it unfinished. I know what they're trying to do. But they're very much like, Jaden is the greatest duelist of all time. And it's like, all right, stop. I maintain, not a great trope. Later on, it will become better because it's like Jaden has experience and he's done a bunch of shit, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, no, he's incredible. But now it's here I am, and I am the best.
I mean,
like,
he does get like smacked down fairly early on by, top of the school, but
like he'll get smacked down by Zane.
That's right.
But that's basically it. And meanwhile, he's taken down every other top dog besides Zane.
Yeah.
It's just sort of dumb. Plus, in any card anime, the thing that they just fundamentally can never equate for is chance. And I sort of understand why, but you can have random chance and still tell an interesting story.
Oh, yeah.
And like, obviously it'll be quote unquote random, but it's okay to have a thing where it's just like, yeah, no, you didn't get any of the stuff you were supposed to. Oh no, whatever. And that can still lead to interesting moments.
I mean, it's part of the reason why Joey Wheeler's deck has always been my favorite, because of all the random chance cards. Like Time Wizard.
Yeah, max chaos energy right there.
Oh yeah, it's so good. That's why I like running Joey Wheeler style desks on the rare occasion where I play the game.
Episode 3, we open up. We have some classes that go on, and then Crowler is like, I want to expel Jaden. I want to ruin his life. So what's the way to do that? I'm going to write a love letter to this student, and seal it with a big lipstick kiss. And Crowler impersonates Alexis, saying that she has a crush on Jaden, and he leaves it in Jaden's locker so that Jaden will go to the women's dorm at bath time, and Crowler can catch him and expel him for peeping. Which that's not that. There are a lot of boundaries there. Like, all right, plan to expel your student. All right, yeah, you're diabolical. That I'll accept here. All right, for the sake of the narrative, you're diabolical and you want to expel your student. Impersonating one of your female students and being like, oh, I have such a crush on you. That's weird. That's a weird thing. That's real strange.
Yeah.
That pushing a lot of boundaries. And then sending it to another student, pushing more boundaries. Also, that they can show up and potentially actually peep at the girls, because this is around bath time. And they're just like huge windows around everywhere. So invading their privacy I don't know, man. Doesn't seem... Seems like there would be better ways of handling that. Nonetheless, it turns out that Jaden's shoes were in Cyrus's locker, so that's where the letter ended up, even though it's still on top of Jaden's shoes, and the letter is also addressed to Jaden. But Cyrus, as we've established, he's a dumb motherfucker.
Yeah, no.
He's like, they try to play it off like he's just sort of nervous or anxious, and that's why he can't succeed. No, he is straight up dumb as fuck right now.
Yeah, especially
so
when women are involved.
Yes. So he thinks the letter is sent for him, and he starts fantasizing about Alexis, because he's looking for a dom. He doesn't care if it's a dom daddy or a dom mommy. He just needs someone to take care of him, right?
Yep.
And so he shows up, and Crowler's like, what the fuck? This isn't what I expected. And the girls notice and are like, oh my god, a peeping Tom. And he's like, no, look at the letter. It's I was invited here. And they're like, Alexis didn't write this. What the fuck? What the fuck, you little chode? Why would she ever? What the fuck?
And they said those exact words too in this children's anime. Like, it was very surprising.
It makes sense why that had to be censored in the dub.
Yep.
But then they hide him from the female teacher, and they're like, oh, nothing's going on. And Alexis who's definitely crushing on Jaden already and really wants to duel Jaden, is like, oh, okay, I'll just use you as bait. And she sends like a weirdly ominous message to Jaden where it's like not showing her face, and it's like distorted voice, and it's like, we have Cyrus, come duel us to get him back. So Jaden shows up, and he and Alexis duel, once again, back and forth, but then Jaden wins, of course. And that's episode 3. Pretty straightforward overall. Episode 4, we open up with an entire military Navy fleet showing up to the island with a case of cards.
Yeah. This whole organization is run by Seto Kaiba. Are you kidding me? Of course he's gonna have a whole armed entourage to protect the precious thing that is cards.
I would like some info on the some lore about the politics of the obvious military industrial complex that is heavily card based. I am wildly fascinated.
Here's the thing, Rem. You do get that down the line.
Yeah.
Like I was joking earlier, but if I recall correctly, the sequel series to this 5Ds is set in a city that's all, like, the whole politics is card games, and guess who started it? Fucking Seto Kaiba.
Oh yeah, it's like some slumlord bullshit going on.
Yeah. Seto Kaiba's ruling the fucking world. Like,
yeah. Like, you know, hey man, sometimes... No, I won't make the joke. I won't make a joke. There's a real solid joke that references history, but it just boils down to calling Kaiba a fascist in historical terms. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm above that.
You can't do that to Kaiba. He just likes card games so much that he is making sure
that
all of society is run by card games.
So they're protecting the cards, and we're here to do another one of the exams that can move you up or move you down, right? And initially I thought, okay, they're protecting like the exam decks, right? So that people can't see them. No, they're just doing a delivery of like, yeah, cards that the shop at the school will sell. That's it.
Yep. It's a very serious business, Rem. Very serious business.
All right. I feel like the shipping industry is fucked if they've become this hot of commodities. Though it also makes sense, because like you'd be wondering, why don't people just sort out their deck with like all the best cards? And it's like, because it'll be your life savings for a deck box. Like, it'll...
Everything else is fine. It's just once it comes down to card games, that's when things get really complex.
Yeah, like there's maybe 10 copies of every card in the Yu-Gi-Oh universe. It's wild. But Cyrus and Jaden, they fall asleep during the written exam, so it's really important for them to do well in the practical exam. They don't get the opportunity to buy any cards, but Jaden helped out the little old merchant lady earlier, so she gives him a special card that she had out back. Meanwhile, Cyrus is able to buy the last pack they have, even though they were like, we're all out, except for this one pack for some reason. Didn't buy that, apparently, even though it was shown that Crowler bought all of it. I don't know where this pack came from, because Crowler bought all of it, and then there were a dozen or so students dozens, actually, more than a dozen, all wanting more packs. And somehow one pack made it through. I don't know. Cyrus gets it. It doesn't matter. Crowler goes to Chaz and is like, hey, Chaz, I want to get Jaden out of here. You want to beat Jaden because he embarrassed you. I can hook you up because I just bought all of the cards and I can hook your deck up. So it's Jaden versus Chaz. Normally it's supposed to be Slifer Red versus Slifer Red, even though also that's not how it's represented in a lot of other situations, but that's fine. Slifer Red versus Slifer Red for the practical, but it switches to Jaden versus Chaz, and if Jaden wins, he can move up to Raw Yellow, and if he loses, he's getting the fuck out of here. And it's back and forth. Chaz has some super OP combos. It's out of this world, but the winged Karibo evolves with the card given to Jaden, and so he's able to dominate and ending up winning. And they're like, oh, you gotta go to Raw Yellow, and he's like, no, I like the color red. And so, like, straight up, it's not like, oh, I can't leave. I've become close with my friends, so I still would also see regularly. It's just like, what? I like red though. I'll stay in Cypher Red because I look better in red for all of the marketing material.
Yeah, no, we've already made merchandise, kid. We can't have him move classes.
And it's like Jaden's just aware of that. He's just he's not making excuses. He's like, no, if I were not wearing red, I would not be as popular in this universe or out. Then we get to episode 5. We get Alexis placing a rose at a mysterious structure, and then we have our main protagonists. They're all telling spooky stories. And Professor Banner shows up and tells the spookiest story about an abandoned dorm on the island where students have gone missing. At this point, Crowler hires a guy named Titan to show up at the island and kill Jaden.
No, not to kill him, just to duel him and take his cards, you know?
To be clear, Titan is going to initiate a fake dark game, right?
Right.
That's like for the loser's soul or whatever, basically. You fucking die if you lose.
Yeah, no.
But
for
Titan,
the Shadow Realm, Jimbo.
Yeah, for Titan, it's a gimmick. It's not real. But Crowler seems to think this shit is sort of real. Crowler doesn't believe in dark games, right? But Crowler does believe that Titan will make Jaden disappear. So, so here's what I think happened. I think Crowler thinks he hired a hitman who pretends to do it through dark games, but actually just fucking kills him. Like, it takes 3 months of Crowler's salary. Crowler thinks that Jaden's gonna disappear, even though Crowler doesn't think that the dark games are real. Crowler just thinks he's gonna kill Jaden. He thinks, or like push him in the ocean, or just kidnap him. But like, the point is, Crowler, 1, doesn't believe in a dark game, but 2, still strongly believes that Titan will get rid of Jaden. So Titan kidnaps Alexis at the abandoned dorm. Our 3 protagonists of Cypher Red, they show up and they're looking around, right? They find it and we start a duel. And there's lots of shenanigans going on. They say that Titan uses optical illusions and hypnosis to fool people into thinking their soul is being ripped out of them. But also he is just using magic. I want to be clear. This is more than hypnosis and optical illusions. This is straight up magic that he's using.
But Rem, come on, you're a magician. You understand like that. It's hard to explain some tricks sometimes. So really, who are we to judge?
I am a magician. I can tell you. Not how that works. So they end up figuring out that it's all a ruse. This isn't a real dark game, and they stop it. But then it is actually a dark game. The spirits from this place, they wake up, they turn it into an actual dark game that they're actually playing now, and Jaden of course wins, and straight up kills Titan. Titan is dead now.
Yeah. No, Rem, he's just banished to the Shadow Realm.
He is in hell.
Yeah.
At best, he's in endless purgatory. That is the optimistic view of this. But either way, he is not in a good spot. Jaden is in denial. He's like, oh, where'd he run off to? Refusing to acknowledge that he has sent a man to eternal damnation. Just
over a children's card
game.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to cope with that by denial. They save Alexis, and they're like, oh, we also found this picture of your brother that went missing, and like, yeah, now that we saw that, I don't know. I don't know how they think he went missing, because they don't think the dark game was real. I don't know what they think of all of this.
Well, I mean, that is like the big mystery of the early
I also
part.
don't know why there was a framed photo of her brother that was signed by the brother.
I mean,
That's ego. That's a lot of ego.
He's very handsome, Rem. Sometimes you gotta sign a portrait.
I would say he's about as handsome as all of the other stock dudes from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Which, to be fair, a lot of them are very handsome.
It's true, but no one's asking for all of their signature.
No, but
on their own photo and then framing it. I don't know, man.
But he's related to a main character, so that's what makes it important, Rem. You gotta understand.
Nice and weird. Nice and weird. But yeah, so that's where we leave off. It's once again not a great show, but it's an interesting one. It's fun enough. It's got enough going on. Where if you just want to see some Yu-Gi-Oh nonsense, this will give it to you. The plot lines are interesting enough, right? They're nothing novel, but they'll keep your attention. The animation, not good. The best is with the monsters and stuff. But even here, I will say, the animation is bad, but it is better than it should be. They do a lot of smart tricks with their shitty animation. Like, they know what they're doing. It's not that they're amateurs doing it, it's that they're pros cutting a lot of corners, right?
I mean, all in the name of selling more pieces of cardboard with pretty pictures on.
Which, if you're a kid, you would probably prefer to have 50 episodes of generally interesting stuff with mediocre animation than, like, 12 beautiful episodes. Like, that's where a child's priorities are going to be.
Yeah, no, that's Yugioh. But unfortunately, Rem, the Yu-Gi-Oh community has had a very unfortunate situation happen recently. Because in between when we recorded the first half of this episode and the second half, unfortunately, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Tragically passed away. So I don't know how that's going to affect the comedy of this episode. Because I feel like by the time this comes out, people are going to be like, oh, they did this as a very nice memorial episode for the creator. And I don't know if I have the heart to tell people it was a very unfortunate coincidence. But yeah, like, it is insane that happened. And
yeah, real whack timing. And you know, regardless of the quality of the show, or even at times the card game, I would say that 100% Yu-Gi-Oh! It is iconic, it is fascinating, and it is enjoyable. It is a lot of fun. I've had so much fun playing the card game, watching the shows, even if quality-wise it may not be at the top.
Well, here's the question, Rem. Do you think it's better than the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, like a lot of people seem to say?
Oh, yes. Yeah, obviously.
Care to elaborate on that?
All right. Quality-wise, obviously better. I think I would recommend less people watch Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, right? Because Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, I'd recommend it for Yu-Gi-Oh! fans.
Right.
Or children. Or both. The original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, like, man, watch some of that for anybody. Because it's fucking insane.
Right.
We had some craziness in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, but now they know what, like, they're doing. They know what they want from it. The original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, holy shit. It is bonkers. And everybody should at least try that out. So, improvement in quality? Obviously. It is a better show. But is it as must-see? I don't think so. Maybe for Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans, but not for general populace.
So you're saying all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX fanboys and fangirls out there are just wrong?
No, I'm saying they are 100% right. But for the layman, for someone who's never heard of Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'm sending them to the original series.
Because, yeah, if you think about...
If you want to introduce someone to Yu-Gi-Oh!, show them Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. If you want someone to have a crazy experience that's one of a kind, send them to OG Yu-Gi-Oh!
And what should they do if they're interested in card games and motorcycles?
Oh, man. Don't.
Just don't.
I don't know, man. I'm being a curmudgeon right now. It was right past when I stopped giving a shit, but it just seems really stupid.
Card games on motorcycles is one step too far for you, is it?
Yeah, because at the core, I just give a shit. I don't feel the need to zhuzh up the card game, right? All right, we got the card game, right? Which cool. We have a card game of the school. That doesn't modify the card game, just the environment. I can vibe with that. All right, and then like also sometimes you can send each other to hell. Okay, interesting stakes. But when you start fucking with the game itself, being like, oh, we're gonna add a parkour playground or a motorcycle. Why? It seems wildly unnecessary.
I don't know. Maybe I'll do some research on it and see if I can figure out what they were going for. Because, like, I'll be honest, I watched probably too much of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX to prepare for this episode. I'm gonna be real with you, Rem. Because
it's a pretty easy to watch show.
Like, it was so easy to watch. I did most of the research I needed to do in one evening. And then just, like, the next couple of evenings, like, in between other shows I was watching, I was just like, well, let's watch a little bit more Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I think I made it to, like, episode, like, 40 by the time we recorded part 1. Because I was like, I'm enjoying myself. Like, this is a candy show for me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, goodness. But I suppose with that in mind, Rem, any guesses on what the MAL score for Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is?
Oh, man.
This is a tricky one, I think.
Yeah, because I think there'll be snobs that turn their head on it because, once again, not high quality. But I also think there'll be a lot of people who are super fans of it.
Rem, let me tell you, you have no idea. Like, browsing forums and the internet for people's opinions on Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, fuckers love Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
I mean, I'm one of them. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not like a super fan, but like out of the Yu-Gi-Ohs, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is the one. It's the most interesting setting. Easy.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna say 7.78.
Ooh, high rating.
Yeah.
Well, Rem, this might surprise you a bit, but Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters GX, as the original title is currently sitting with 124,000 ratings at 7.18.
Oh, come on, weebs. Look. I agree. It's trash, and I wouldn't even rate it that high. But y'all should. This trash is better than a lot of the trash that you have rated much higher, is all I'm saying, weebs.
And because a lot of the ratings skew very high, and then there's like a few like super low ratings. Like Joey Wheeler isn't even in this one that much, and it's like, I mean, yeah, guys, come on, it's a new series. You can't have all the same characters all the time. Come on. But yeah, no.
I think they could have, and they could have added like one of the like either main or important side characters that's like a teacher. Right.
That could have been cool.
That could have been it, and it doesn't even need to be like one of the OGs. You could just have it be one of like the very interesting side characters, because if Yu-Gi-Oh! Knows anything, it's how to make memorable characters.
So what, you're saying that you'd love to see Weevil as a teacher?
Weevil would be a fascinating teacher. you could
only
there's a world
Pokemon.
There's a world where Crowler is replaced with Weevil.
That is a but Rem, then you have to deal with the consequences of Weevil setting up Jaden for a bad
don't
experience.
Do that. Just don't do that.
Just don't do that.
Cut those bits out.
Having Weevil be the main like general antagonist for the Slifer Red kids would be a wild decision to make. That would be...
Or I think something that could totally work is like having Joey show up for like a showcase or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you do a tournament, winner gets to face Joey. Shit like that.
I believe that something like that does happen a couple times. Like, I know Kaiba shows up several times, I know Yugi shows up a couple times, and I think Joey shows up a handful of times as well.
Does Joey? I don't remember. I remember the other two showing up. I don't remember Joey ever showing up.
Well, hold on. I have the power of God, anime, and Google on my side. Joey Wheeler, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Does it happen? Does it happen? No. He's constantly referred to in the show, but he's never seen on screen.
He'd be so good.
Yeah, he's referred to as one of the best duelists in the world.
All right,
but they never show him on screen.
That just goes to show the nepotistic nature of the Duel Monsters universe. I
will say though, the dub folk, I'm gonna tell you right now, the dub folk do Joey Wheeler a bit dirty.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall, Rem, but there was straight up an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX where they duel a like genetically altered cybernetic super monkey. I don't know if you recall that. That did happen. And the fuckers at 4Kids thought, I mean, yeah, in like the original he's called Sal. Which is translated to super animal learning. Like, it's a bit generic. It's a bit, sciencey. We could probably change it to something a bit more American. But you know what they fucking changed it to?
What?
They fucking changed it to Wheeler. 4Kids did him fucking dirty.
That's so fucking good, dude. That's so good.
They made the monkey who all he wanted to do was break out of his scientific, environment and go back and live with his monkey family. They decided, you know what? The monkey, that's a Wheeler. What else we gonna call him? I mean, obviously.
Hey, Yugs! Yugs, my sentience is trapped inside a monkey brain, Yugs!
Help, they didn't give me a proper cameo. How am I supposed to be remembered by the future generation if I can't get a proper cameo?
Oh, truly beautiful.
But I suppose with that in mind, Rem, any chance you'd like to watch more Yu-Gi-Oh! GX with me sometime?
I mean, probably. It's an enjoyable romp through a bunch of nonsense.
And who knows, maybe we'll do more duels in the future in the vein of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. But with that in mind, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed us reminiscing about our very strange childhoods and their obsessions with children's card games, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, or Spotify. We do read every single one. And if you'd like to support us more directly, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where myself, Remington, and Dylan do occasionally play video games. But if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to have your name read aloud live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
As always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we reach the Yandere waifu tier, who are sending our asses to the Shadow Realm and becoming our Dom Pharaohs. And on that list,
that's
we have...
just killing us, Rem.
Hell yeah. How sexy. We have Alex, Xanax, Yandere Neko, Yahir, Wings Club is my favorite anime, Why Shon, Why Sean, Walk Me Home Gently, Wade Shell, Tyler Worley, Tsumugi is way cuter than Anya, and that's just facts, Trenton Farrell, Travis J. Humphrey, Totally God, Tony Choppa, Tim Westy, The Susanator, The Big Bean, that one anime dude who's also a duck, Tetsuo13 says Joke's on You, Earwig and the Witch is a Ghibli movie, Take My Cheeks, Squirrel, Silent Secondary, Shoujo Addict who doesn't need help, just more manga to read and anime to watch, Sean, Punish Rem and make him watch Excel World, School Days and Claned for the Feels, Salty Pretzel, Ross Palmer, Rip to the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, Kazuki Takahashi, very fitting.
Yeah,
Before
very,
Kids
very
dub of the
fitting.
anime was my first at age 7 or something. Proper to honor him at exactly this time, at exactly this episode. Rimuru Tempest is my waifu daddy. Rhiannon Williams, Remington Merrill, Rem gave me depression. Probably the one lesbian patron who loves yams, who really felt spoken to and don't have Twitter. Sorry, I used you to come out. Wait,
hold on.
This is
Wait.
Coming out through Patreon readings and a love of yams.
In a
That's
podcast.
what
That is.
That's what we're here for.
We're changing the world, Rem. We're changing.
Please review Morbius. It'll make me morb so hard. One can always get one more brushing from a toothpaste tube, Misaka observes, certain that wormhole technology is involved. Oh boy, an ounce of serotonin, don't mind if I do. No waifu, no lifu, Nick Harvey. Mikeka Seven Hierto. Mexican Gone Freaks. Maya Sizitzi. Matthew Drum says Dylan's an angel. Matthias Rodas. Man the Person Fern. Mad O2 Max. Lizzie Anthea. Yugioh. Logan Evans. King Rich Rock. Casey Mosley. Cassidy. Just a Traveler. Jam Hands. It's my birthday, May 20th, so I am now God into taking over the podcast. It's not a cartoon, it's art and other things to tell your parents when they catch you watching anime. ISIS, but only for terrorist acts committed by birds. Iron-blooded orphan slaps. I'm lonely, so I watch anime. I want Rem to ruin Darling and the Franks for me. I am the Isekai trash man. Hunter Davies. Hey, you, cuckoo, kachoo, I'm the freaking walrus over here. Hey guys, help me make poor decisions here. Should I buy Don Machi or Tokyo Revengers White Swords cards? Glenn Michael Dolan, fuck of love Foxen boy. Friend of the podcast Adam Sandler, the God Emperor of Mankind. Farmer Weeb's bad pickup line of the week. Are you Daki Makro? Because I want you to join my collection. Oh god. Fantide, Extreme Cobra, Epic Amy. Elite Knight, drink milk to prevent wobbly bones. Not a conspiracy. Dick-eyed Mimicin, Pikachurin, Tris, Pentafluorethyl, Trifluorophosphate, also known as FAP, and finally Trans 1,4-bis 4-Prietyl Eth. Crumb Sluts Bakery, new hidden location in Uranus. Creed 13, Shy 900, Cheese Monkey, Carson MO5, Cage in the House, Brockhard for Geodudes, Blood for the Blood God, Skulls for the Skull Throne, Elise Howard, AJ Honey, Sean, read this! But he doesn't even have it open, so, unfortunately, I will, here, wait, Sean, read this. Alright, I will!
Oh, fuck off!
That sweet, sweet, silky frog-ass juice, Wow, Sean, you sounded interested.
That is... I am so pissed.
Warning, you're 7... Oh, wait, no, there we go. That's... we move on to the Boy Wizard tier, where everybody is going to be assigned a signature card from someone in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and that will now be your signature card.
Oh, wow.
Warning, you're 799 episodes away. You get Superconductor Tyranno. Vincent Calabrese, you are going to get Cyberblader. Stupid Sexy Nergigante?
Do you need to send it to me? Is
it a giant Catwoman?
Man, I'm drawing a blank myself, but your pronunciation alone made me draw a blank.
I think Nergigante. And you are going to get the Ojama Trio. Shuffleboard is Totes a Sport. You get Ancient Gear Golem. Rat Visa the Finish, and the one who's slowly melting in the summer. You get Toy Emperor. Please watch Healer Girl, a cute slice of life about using magic to heal people. Also, Rem is still a girl. You get Destiny Hero Dreadmaster. My Afro Ate My Dog. You get Master of Oz. Momo the Griff. You are going to get Water Dragon. Mike wants an Overlord review. You are going to get Winged Karibo. Miguel DeLeon, you are going to get Cyber Ogre 2. Maitawa says first 3 arcs of Bakemonogatari is just 8 episodes. You get Helios Trice Majestus. Latinos Eats Death and Anime for breakfast. You are going to get the Sacred Beasts. Inuyasha's My Favorite Cryptid. You get Toon Kingdom. Harrison, you are going to get Yubel. Did I do Inuyasha's My Favorite Cryptid?
I think you just did them, yeah.
Okay, Harrison. Did I just do Harrison?
I don't know.
Fuck. Harrison, you're gonna get Fossil Warrior Skull King. Go ahead, call the cops. It won't unshit the frog children. Hell yeah.
They can stop now. The memes can stop now, please.
You're gonna get Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum. Dylan, when are you taking over? You get Rainbow Dragon. Demon Ray 13. You get the Volcanic Queen. Crimson Reapers, just because of the scythes. You are going to get Destiny Hero Plasma. Beethoven 1201, you obviously have Darkness Neosphere. Aaron Hegland, you are getting Cyber End Dragon. And finally, 2Sec Sean, I have to show you my Rule 34 review. It is my favorite of my many folders. You are going to get none other than Elemental Hero Shining Flare Wingman. Now we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, which really feels like I should be doing something extra special for this one, but I can't think of anything extra special.
I mean, you're the one coming up with it, so, that's up to you, bud. I'm not gonna hold it against you.
And you know what is extra special? Sean has something extra special
No,
for
no,
us for
you
the
can't.
inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier. Very fitting
You can't.
because it is a
can't
Yu-Gi-Oh!
do this.
A Yu-Gi-Oh episode,
You
and these are
can't
our
do
highest
this.
paying patrons. So he's been planning this for weeks. It is very special. Sean, what will we be doing for the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier?
I fucking hate you.
All right, here's what we'll do.
I got
No,
it.
fuck you. I got it.
Okay, never mind. Cool. I had an idea, but then it left me. That's
No,
fair.
fuck your idea.
Here, I was gonna give people a spirit Yu-Gi-Oh monster, but that's fine.
No. Here we are going to choose a strange Yu-Gi-Oh card that is going to be representative of the rest of your day. And I will give the card, and Sean will tell you, as Joey Wheeler, how it applies to you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
So we got the Redneck Weeb returns, thanks to Moonshine and Jiggle Physics. For you, what really represents you is, of course, Humpty Grumpty.
Oh, fuck. For the rest of your day, you're gonna enjoy, get some eggs. You'll enjoy it. It's good for you. Eggs are great.
And what here, and I'll show you the photos so if that helps for inspiration.
It definitely would. It definitely would.
All right. Next up, we've got Raftalia is my anime waifu, and will return in September. You get D-Boys.
Oh dear. I mean, obviously, the rest of your day, what it means for you to have D-Boys means you gotta hang out with D-Boys, you know?
Yo, go hang out with them. Next we got quick animal fact. Most raccoons cannot pilot a helicopter. You just get people running about.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, your day is gonna be extra busy, but hey, once everything's said and done, you won't have to see people anymore. For the rest of the day, at least.
Next up, Magic Ice Ball. You get a hungry burger.
Hey, you know what? Treat yourself to something nice. Like, Five Guys are better, I think. I think that is the nice thing. You know, you gotta get yourself a nice burger.
I spend too much time playing Overwatch. Please help. You know what? You get overworked.
Hey, I don't have to do much explanation there. Try to take a break if you can. Yeah, good fucking luck with that card.
Next up, we have Dylan Army General. Glory to the editor. Hashtag Dylan is waifu. Hashtag communism for books. I can type a lot. Damn. You get Tatsunutsu Shigo.
Words cannot describe how the rest of your day is gonna go, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm looking at a horse with a mermaid tail and the most,
that's an ahigao. If a horse were to do an ahigao, that's what it would look like.
Yeah, no, I feel like this horse is sexually harassing me with his eyes, so the rest of your day will involve just trying to be a good person.
Next up, we got my dear old mom, who gets the Doom Donuts.
Man, that is one bad decision away from a life-changing event right there. Holy hell. Hey.
Be careful, Mom.
Yeah, cut back on the sweets.
Next we got Charles C. Nussbaum, who gets Ojama Yellow.
Oh, man. What the fuck is this list you're pulling from? Yeah, if Ojama Yellow is signifying the rest of your day, it means,
You're gonna get freaky!
Yeah, nobody gets freakier than Ojama Yellow.
Alright, no, that's not a funny card. Fuck you. Go over here. Alright, next up we got Blood Cell, not the white one. You get, excuse me? You get Tongyo.
That is a manta ray with 3 tongues. How to interpret that? I'm going to interpret that as the rest of your day is gonna be, go get some ice cream. You got 3 tongues, go get some ice cream. That's the way I think you should do it.
Next up, we have Anime Girl, who gets the World Carrot Weight Champion.
What the fuck is a carrot weight?
Alright, well, heavyweight.
Yeah.
Like featherweight's lighter.
Yeah.
Carrot weight, you're approximately the weight of a couple carrots.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know sports all that much, but I'm pretty sure between featherweight and heavyweight is like welterweight. I'm pretty sure. I don't know where carrot weight fits in the mix there.
Down far below.
Okay, all right.
But what does it mean for Anime Girls Day?
Oh man, you're gonna have some great sautéed vegetables for dinner.
And last but not least, going above and beyond, we have Dylan Hayden, who's gonna get. None of these are good enough.
No, none of those are good enough.
You're gonna get ghost beef.
Hold the fuck on. Hold on. I know I'm supposed to be given a bit here, but what the fuck is up with this card art? Just to describe,
It's ghost beef.
this might be the most fucked up Yu-Gi-Oh card I've ever seen, Rem. Because it's a ghost cow with a slice of himself on a fork and a knife, and it looks like he's about to munch down. And this is fucked. This is fucked. What does it mean for the rest of your day? The rest of your day is gonna be ghost beef. Yeah, man, you're gonna watch what meat you eat. Otherwise, you're gonna be a ghost.
Runner up, we didn't get to use. Totally awesome. Just a couple toads.
Yeah, there.
Inmato, which is an inmate tomato.
Man, and people say Pokemon are running out of ideas.
Slushy, a giant slushy monster. Good God, how beautiful. If you want to reach out to us, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter, or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Yeah, like there's maybe 10 copies of every card in the entire world, in the Yu-Gi-Oh world, in the Yu-Gi-Oh universe, in the Yu-Gi-Oh world. It's wild.
I love fucking horse pussy.
If a horse were to do an Ahegao, that's what it would look like. He's looking for a Dom. He doesn't care if it's a Dom daddy or a Dom mommy. He just needs someone to take care of him.
Fucking nerd.